Why do so many people work harder every year, yet their bank account barely changes? Why do some wake up earlier, take extra shifts, sacrifice weekends, yet still feel trapped in the same financial place? Is it bad luck or something deeper? Warren Buffett once explained that poverty often works like a hidden loop, one that keeps people running, but never truly moving forward. The real problem isn't always effort. Sometimes it's the system of habits and decisions surrounding money. So what did Buffett see that most people miss? And more importantly, how can understanding it help you break free from the low-income cycle? Warren Buffett often emphasizes a simple but uncomfortable truth. Many people are not trapped by a lack of effort, but by a repeating financial cycle known as the poverty loop. The poverty loop begins with a familiar pattern. A person works hard, earns income, and uses most, sometimes all of that money to cover daily expenses. Rent, food, transportation, bills, and small pleasures quickly consume the paycheck. When the next month arrives, the cycle repeats. Work, earn, spend, start again. There is little or no money left to save or invest, which means the person's financial situation barely improves over time. Without investment, money cannot grow. And without growth, income remains tied only to labor. In other words, people are forced to continuously trade their time for money. Buffett often stresses that the wealthy operate differently. They focus on making their money work for them, rather than working endlessly for money. One of the biggest reasons this loop persists is poor financial education. Many people are never taught how compounding works, how to build assets, or how small investments can grow significantly over time. Instead, they learn only how to earn and spend. As a result, financial decisions are often short-term, buying things that feel rewarding now but do not improve long-term stability. Another powerful factor is spending habits. When income rises slightly, lifestyle expenses often rise with it. A better phone, a nicer apartment, more dining out, each upgrade quietly absorbs the additional income that could have been invested. This pattern, sometimes called lifestyle inflation, keeps people financially stuck even as they work harder. Over years, the poverty loop becomes deeply ingrained. The longer someone remains in this pattern, the harder it becomes to escape. According to Buffett's philosophy, the key to breaking the cycle is not simply earning more money, but changing how money is used. Prioritizing saving, investing, and building assets that grow independently of one's labor. According to Warren Buffett, one of the biggest reasons many people remain stuck at a low-income level is not simply a lack of opportunity, but a difference in mindset. The way people think about money, time, and investment can quietly shape their financial future for decades. A common mindset among people who struggle financially is viewing money mainly as something to spend and solve immediate needs. When income arrives, the first instinct is often consumption, paying bills, buying comforts, or upgrading lifestyle. In this way of thinking, money flows in and then quickly flows out. There is little focus on turning money into assets that can generate more money in the future. In contrast, wealthy thinkers tend to see money as a tool for building long-term growth. Instead of asking, "What can I buy with this?" they ask, "How can this money grow?" Even small amounts are often directed toward investments, businesses, or assets that can produce income over time. This difference may seem subtle, but it dramatically changes financial outcomes over many years. Time is another major difference. Many people with a scarcity mindset focus on short-term rewards. They prioritize immediate comfort or quick results. Buffett, however, repeatedly highlights the power of long-term thinking. Wealth is rarely created overnight. It grows through patience, discipline, and the compounding effect of consistent investing over many years. There is also a difference in how effort is applied. Those stuck in low income often believe that the only way to improve financially is to work more hours. While hard work is important, Buffett points out that true financial growth comes when people begin building systems where money works independently of their time. For this reason, changing mindset becomes the first and most critical step. Once a person begins thinking about money differently, seeing it as capital to grow rather than income to spend, they start making different decisions. And those decisions, repeated over time, can gradually break the cycle of financial limitation. Warren Buffett often shares a powerful piece of advice. The best investment you can make is in yourself. Unlike stocks, real estate, or businesses, self-investment is an asset that cannot be taken away. The knowledge, skills, and habits a person develops can generate value and income for an entire lifetime. Buffett frequently explains that improving your abilities increases what economists call your earning power. When a person gains valuable skills, they become more useful in the marketplace. Employers, clients, and businesses are willing to pay more for people who can solve problems, create results, or bring unique expertise. In this sense, knowledge and skills function like an invisible asset that continuously produces financial returns. Another reason self-investment is so powerful is that it compounds over time. Much like money in an investment account, the more you learn, the easier it becomes to learn new things. Each skill strengthens the next. Over the years, this accumulated knowledge can dramatically increase a person's opportunities, income potential, and career stability. Buffett also highlights the importance of continuous learning. The world changes quickly, industries evolve, technology advances, and new demands appear in the labor market. Those who keep learning remain valuable, while those who stop improving risk being left behind. A habit of reading, studying, and practicing new skills helps individuals adapt and stay competitive. Real-life examples clearly illustrate this idea. Imagine someone working in a basic administrative job who decides to learn data analysis or programming. By gaining technical skills such as Excel automation, Python, or data visualization, that person can move into higher-paying roles like data analyst or business intelligence specialist. The same applies to someone who learns digital marketing, graphic design, or public speaking. Each new capability increases their value in the job market. In Buffett's view, escaping financial limitations often begins with strengthening the most powerful asset a person owns: their mind and abilities. When people consistently invest in their knowledge and skills, they build a foundation that can create opportunities and income for decades. Warren Buffett has often repeated a simple but powerful principle: do not save what is left after spending. Spend what is left after saving. This idea highlights why saving and investing early are so important for building long-term financial stability. However, many people with low incomes struggle to save. One major reason is that their earnings are mostly consumed by essential expenses such as housing, food, transportation, and bills. When income is limited, it can feel impossible to set money aside. Another factor is psychological. When people believe their income is too small to make a difference, they assume saving a small amount is pointless. As a result, the habit of saving never begins. There is also the issue of spending habits. Small daily purchases, coffee, snacks, subscriptions, and impulse buys can quietly drain money over time. Individually, these expenses seem insignificant, but together, they reduce the ability to accumulate savings. Without awareness and discipline, these patterns keep people living paycheck to paycheck. Buffett's philosophy suggests that the solution starts with changing financial habits, not waiting for a higher income. Even a very small amount saved regularly can create momentum. Setting aside a fixed percentage of each paycheck, even just 5% or 10%, builds the discipline of paying yourself first. Once a basic savings habit forms, The next step is starting small investments. Today, many platforms allow people to invest with very modest amounts of money. Consistent contributions to simple investments, such as broad market index funds, can gradually grow through the power of compounding. Over time, the returns generated by these investments can begin to exceed the original contributions. Buffett often reminds people that wealth is rarely built through sudden windfalls. Instead, it grows through consistent behavior repeated over many years. By controlling spending, saving regularly, and investing early, even with small sums, individuals can slowly break free from financial limitations and build a more secure future. Warren Buffett has long emphasized the extraordinary power of compound interest, a principle he considers one of the most important forces in building wealth. Compound interest occurs when the returns generated by an investment begin to earn returns themselves. Instead of growth happening in a straight line, wealth grows at an accelerating pace over time. This idea is often linked to a famous statement attributed to Albert Einstein, who reportedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. The reason for this description is simple. When money compounds for many years, the results can become surprisingly large. Even if the initial investment was relatively small at the beginning, the growth may seem slow. For example, someone who invests a modest amount every month might see only gradual increases in the first few years. But as time passes, the accumulated returns start generating their own returns. This creates a snowball effect, where the investment grows larger and larger at an increasing rate. Buffett's own financial journey illustrates this principle clearly. He began investing at a very young age and allowed his investments to compound for decades. Much of his wealth was not created quickly, but through long-term patience and consistent reinvestment. The key factor was time allowing compound growth to work for many years without interruption. One important lesson from Buffett's perspective is that starting early matters more than starting big. Even small amounts of money can grow significantly if they are invested consistently and given enough time to compound. Waiting too long, however, reduces the time available for this powerful effect to work. Compound interest also encourages discipline. Investors who regularly reinvest their returns instead of withdrawing them allow the compounding cycle to continue. Over decades, this simple habit can transform modest savings into substantial wealth. In Buffett's view, understanding compound interest changes how people see money. It reveals that wealth building is not always about large investments, but about time, consistency, and the quiet exponential power of compounding. Warren Buffett once shared a simple but powerful rule about money. Don't save what is left after spending. Spend what is left after saving. At first glance, this advice sounds straightforward, but its practical meaning can transform the way people manage their finances. Many individuals approach money in the opposite way. They receive their income, pay bills, buy necessities, and spend on daily comforts. Only after everything is paid do they check whether any money remains to save. In most cases, little or nothing is left. Over time, this pattern prevents people from building savings or investments, even if they work hard and earn a steady income. Buffett's principle reverses this process. Instead of treating saving as an afterthought, it becomes the first priority. As soon as income is received, a portion is immediately set aside for saving or investing. The remaining amount is then used for spending. This approach ensures that financial growth is built into the system rather than depending on leftover money. The real strength of this rule lies in habit formation. When people automatically save a percentage of their income, whether it is 5%, 10%, or more, they gradually build discipline and consistency. Over months and years, these small amounts accumulate and can be directed into investments that generate additional returns. Another practical benefit is psychological. When saving happens first, People naturally adjust their lifestyle to fit the remaining income. Instead of increasing expenses whenever earnings rise, individuals learn to manage their spending within a controlled limit. This helps prevent lifestyle inflation, where higher income simply leads to higher spending. Buffett's advice highlights an essential truth. Wealth building is rarely about sudden financial breakthroughs. It is usually the result of consistent behavior repeated over long periods of time. By prioritizing saving before spending, individuals create a financial structure that supports long-term stability and investment growth. Over time, this simple shift in habit can gradually move someone away from financial struggle toward greater security and opportunity. Warren Buffett often reminds people that financial success is rarely the result of one dramatic decision. Instead, it grows from small daily habits practiced consistently over many years. These habits shape how a person thinks, learns, and makes decisions about money. One of Buffett's most famous habits is reading. He has said that he spends a large portion of his day reading books, reports, and financial information. Reading expands knowledge, strengthens critical thinking, and helps people understand how businesses, markets, and economies work. Over time, this continuous learning builds a deep foundation of understanding that allows better financial and career decisions. Another important habit Buffett highlights is long-term thinking. Many people focus on immediate rewards, quick profits, short-term gains, or instant gratification. Buffett takes the opposite approach. He evaluates decisions based on their potential impact many years into the future. This mindset encourages patience and discipline, especially in investing. By focusing on long-term value rather than short-term excitement, individuals can avoid impulsive choices that damage their financial stability. Buffett also emphasizes making decisions based on value rather than price. This means asking whether something truly provides lasting benefit before spending money on it. Whether evaluating an investment, a business opportunity, or even a personal purchase, Buffett looks for quality and long-term usefulness. This habit encourages careful thinking instead of emotional spending. Another subtle but powerful habit is consistent reflection and rational decision-making. Buffett is known for staying calm and analytical, even when markets become unpredictable. Developing the habit of pausing, thinking carefully, and avoiding emotional reactions helps individuals make smarter financial choices. Over time, these small habits compound just like money does. Reading regularly increases knowledge. Long-term thinking improves decisions. Value-based choices reduce unnecessary spending and encourage better investments. Year after year, these behaviors gradually reshape a person's opportunities and financial outcomes. In Buffett's philosophy, success is not built overnight. It is the result of simple habits repeated consistently, quietly creating powerful change over time. Warren Buffett has repeatedly emphasized that patience is one of the most important qualities in building wealth. In his view, the greatest financial opportunities often take years or even decades to fully develop. Those who understand this are far more likely to succeed than those constantly chasing quick profits. Many people struggle financially because they are drawn to the idea of getting rich quickly. They search for fast investments, risky speculation, or shortcuts that promise immediate rewards. When results do not appear quickly, they become frustrated and move on to the next opportunity. This constant switching prevents investments and skills from having enough time to grow. Buffett takes a very different approach. He believes wealth is most reliably built through long-term thinking and steady discipline. When someone invests in strong businesses or broad markets and allows their investments to compound over many years, the results can become extraordinary. The key is resisting the temptation to react emotionally to short-term fluctuations. Patience also applies beyond investing. Careers, Businesses and personal skills require time to develop. People who focus only on immediate income often overlook opportunities that could produce much greater value in the future. For example, learning new skills, building expertise, or starting a small business may not produce instant financial rewards. But over time, these efforts can significantly increase earning potential. Another important aspect of patience is the ability to stay consistent. Financial progress rarely happens in dramatic leaps. Instead, it usually grows slowly through regular saving, steady investing, and thoughtful decision-making. Those who remain committed to this process allow compound growth to work in their favor. Buffett often reminds people that the stock market is designed to transfer money from the impatient to the patient. This idea reflects a deeper truth. Long-term discipline creates advantages that short-term thinking cannot match. By focusing on steady progress rather than quick success, individuals can gradually escape financial limitations and build lasting wealth. Warren Buffett has long warned about the dangers of bad debt, especially high-interest consumer debt. In his view, managing financial risk is just as important as finding good investments. Before building wealth, a person must first protect their financial foundation from decisions that slowly drain their income. One of Buffett's strongest warnings is about credit card debt. Credit cards often carry very high interest rates, which means borrowed money can grow rapidly if it is not repaid quickly. Instead of money working for you, the situation reverses. Your income begins working for the lender. Over time, interest payments consume a growing portion of earnings, leaving less money available for saving or investing. This is why consumer debt can trap people in a poverty cycle. Imagine someone who uses credit to cover everyday expenses, purchases, or lifestyle upgrades. At first, the payments seem manageable, but as interest accumulates, monthly obligations increase. Eventually, much of their paycheck goes toward paying past spending rather than building future wealth. This pattern keeps people financially stuck, even if their income slowly rises. Buffett's philosophy encouraged a more cautious approach to financial risk. He believes individuals should avoid unnecessary borrowing and live within their means whenever possible. In simple terms, money should be used to build assets, not to support habits that create long-term liabilities. Escaping harmful debt often begins with a few practical steps. First, individuals must clearly understand their financial situation by listing all debts, interest rates, and monthly payments. Second, focusing on paying off high-interest debts as quickly as possible can reduce long-term financial pressure. Third, building a small emergency fund can prevent future reliance on credit when unexpected expenses occur. Another important step is developing disciplined spending habits. Reducing impulse purchases and planning expenses carefully helps ensure that income is directed towards savings and investments rather than debt. Repayment. In Buffett's perspective, financial success begins with protecting yourself from costly mistakes. By avoiding bad debt and managing financial risk carefully, individuals create the stability needed to build wealth gradually over time. Warren Buffett has shared many lessons throughout his life, but several core principles stand out for anyone who wants to escape the cycle of low income and build lasting financial stability. These ideas are simple, yet incredibly powerful when practiced consistently over time. The first principle is invest in yourself. Buffett believes the most valuable asset you will ever own is your knowledge and skills. Learning continuously through reading, education, and practical experience improves your earning power and opens new opportunities. The more valuable your abilities become, the more the world is willing to pay for them. The second principle is save before you spend. Buffett's famous rule reminds us to prioritize saving and investing the moment income arrives. Even small amounts set aside regularly can grow over time. This habit creates a financial foundation that slowly transforms your relationship with money. Another key idea is start investing early and let compounding work. Wealth rarely appears overnight. Instead, it grows steadily through compound interest. When you consistently invest, even modest sums, and allow time to multiply your returns, small beginnings can eventually become significant assets. Buffett also emphasizes living below your means and avoiding harmful debt. Many people stay trapped financially because rising income leads to rising expenses. Choosing a disciplined lifestyle and staying away from high-interest consumer debt protects your ability to build wealth in the future. Finally, Buffett highlights the importance of patience and long-term thinking. Financial progress often feels slow at first, but consistent habits compound over years. Those who stay disciplined and focused on long-term value usually see the greatest rewards. The most inspiring message behind Buffett's philosophy is that financial change does not require extraordinary luck. It begins with ordinary decisions repeated every day, learning more, saving consistently, investing patiently, and thinking about the future. Step by step, these choices can break the poverty loop and create a more secure and hopeful financial life. Warren Buffett reminds us that escaping the low-income loop does not begin with luck. It begins with changing how we think and act with money. Invest in yourself, save before you spend, avoid harmful debt, and let time and compound growth work in your favor. Small habits practiced consistently can slowly transform your financial future. If you found this video valuable, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your perspective matters. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.